We are back here on the Chuck Van Show. Tonight, I'm being joined by local musician Xavier Ortiz, affectionately known as the Hellbilly Playboy. Xavier, welcome to the Chuck Van Show.
Thank you, Chuck, for having me.
Give the listeners a little background on exactly who the Hellbilly Playboy is.
Hellbilly Playboy was spawned during the pandemic. I like to describe the music, the project, as Texas stomp blues punk. Basically, I am a one-man band, use a kick drum, I've got a foot tambourine, cigar box guitar, gas can guitar, it's 3 strings, and I also use regular electric guitar, sometimes an acoustic guitar, banjo. So yeah, basically Hellbilly Playboy is a one-man band.
You released a self-titled album in May of last year. What influences did you take into the recording process for that record?
This is a good question because this album is a ridiculous 32 songs. It's an hour and a half long. But again, it was a pandemic. I was going through some stuff, and just like everybody else, it was a hard time. So I had a lot to say and a lot to release. And I found myself writing so much music. Plus, the cigar box guitar and the gas can guitar just opened up a whole new world to me. But influences I was trying to go for was kind of like Hansel Atkins, which in the 50s, he was a one-man band. And you may or may not know one of my great influences. And if you listen a lot, the Cramps, because the Cramps covered a lot of Hansel Atkins, but they're like a stomp kind of blues thing, you know what I mean? But you'll also hear some industrial and punk. There's some industrial samplings, old 1950 commercial samples, kind of like Rob Zombie does. So some of my influences would be what Rob Zombie, Ministry, Butthole Surfers do. But there's some other one-man bands like Joe Buck Yourself. He's from Tennessee. He's Hank Williams III's bass player. He's got a one-man band thing called Joe Buck Yourself. In fact, he'll be in Austin in September. Bob Log, he's a great one-man band. I don't know if I mentioned Muddy Waters, but Muddy Waters, all that old stomp blues kind of stuff.
One of my favorite tracks off the album is Left Mi Corazon in San Antone. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Chuck, I'm glad you like that song. That's one of my favorite songs, too. I felt to say that one of my other influences is Jack White or the White Stripes, because I was trying to go for like regular drum kit and guitar, and that's what they were like. So the song Left Mi Corazon in San Antone. There's another one that's Look Away, Run, Run, Run. Another one I can't think off the top of my head. But that song, and like all the other songs, they're true stories. I can't make this shit up. But it's about a friend of mine I've known for years. I know her family. What's the line? It goes, met a little Latin girl back in San Antone. She drank tequila and had a temper like a thorn of a yellow rose. So basically, we were friends for a long time. Then we kind of got romantically involved. And, you know, she drank tequila and get jealous and that and stuff. But there are some compliments in there. The second line is, had a smile as big as Texas and a knife just as big in her purse. And then drank tequila and had a temper. But that's another great example. It's just a straight rock and roll tune, but you'll hear some industrial samples in there, and the drums kind of do something too. But you hear some cowbell and tambourine. It's a great song. Really, really glad you like that song, man. Thank you.
Well, here it is, Left Mi Corazon in San Antone by the Hellbilly Playboy, right here on the Chuck Van Show.
Hey, man, let's go get some tacos and tequila.
You get it?
Are you local, man? You don't remember that little Latino?
Yeah.
No way I'm going to San Antone, man. Met a little Latin girl back in San Antone. Drank tequila and had a temper like a thorn of a yellow rose. Left my colors on back in San Antone. as Texas and a knife just as big in their purse. Drank tequila and had a temper like a thorn of a yellow rose. Left my cortisone back in San Antonio. Left my cortisone back in San Antonio. And for good reason, yeah.
Back on the Chuck Van Show, being joined by Xavier Ortiz, the Hellbilly Playboy, and you're also in the band, the Hot Rod Hillbillies. Give us a little bit of info about that band.
Yeah, Hot Rod Hillbillies. I appreciate the plug. Hot Rod Hillbillies is a Texas rockabilly country cowpunk trio from Austin, Texas. That's my baby. The band's been running for almost 25 years now. We're coming up on our 25th anniversary, and we're actually working on a possible documentary and a new CD, and we're going to package it all and release it next year. But yeah, Hot Rod Hillbillies, our first record, 2002, got great reviews from the Austin Chronicle and Dallas Observer. Second record, Under the Texas Sky, in 2005, kind of took us off. We did a lot of touring and traveling. Got to tour with Reverend, Hank Williams III, just to name a few. And we were doing a lot of car shows, festivals. Some of the songs started getting on like TV commercials, movies. One of my biggest accomplishments was Chevy asked to use one of our songs, She's My Chevy. It's off the first record, actually. But that got to be a part of Chevrolet's 100th anniversary. It's a DVD called An American Story, and aired on the Velocity channel, which is a part of Disney. It was good money, but yeah, great accomplishment. And then on our third record, we actually went to Orange County, California. The first two records we recorded in Austin, Texas at Arling. But we went to Orange County. Tony Slash from the Rockets, he's from Los Angeles. He played upright bass on the record, and we also ended up touring and traveling to East Coast and West Coast on that record. But we got to work with Dave Ivers. He's an audio engineer for like the ska band Real Big Fish. Johnny Wrench was also a part of our audio production, and he actually tours as an audio guy for the punk band X. So it was exciting times back then. And but yeah, you know, and we've been on hiatus here and there, and then we'll pop up and do some shows and festivals. In fact, we just played Sam's Burger Joint with the Necromatics a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be at a car festival, Lukenrad, in Lukenbach, Texas, October 19th. And we've already gotten an offer for 225. In Arizona, there's a big car festival, rockabilly festival called the AZ Rockabilly Fest. And they actually asked us to play for 2 nights, which is kind of unheard of, but it's going to be exciting. It looks like we might be also going to Viva Las Vegas in April. Chop Tops are having a reunion. They're old friends of ours. We've toured and traveled and lived with them, so to say. But it's kind of a big deal because they're headlining the whole thing. It's a big, big rockabilly thing. So yeah, look out for the Hot Rod Hillbillies in 2025.
Where can people find you on the social medias as well as streaming platforms for your music?
Well, for the social medias, you can find the Hillbilly Playboy. That's real simple, facebook.com/Hillbilly Playboy. Same thing with Instagram, YouTube. I do want to note, I've been producing, directing, creating music videos for not just myself, but other bands under Texabilly Productions. I also do promo videos, bios, band bookings within Texas. And I've been a promoter and I book shows sometimes. But basically what I'm trying to say, go to my YouTube, youtube.com, Hellbilly Playboy. I'm pretty proud of my videos that I've created. And if you're a musician, artist, a business, and you need a promotional video, music video, contact Texabilly Productions at gmail.com.
You have a big live show coming up. Tell us about it and what people can expect from the live show.
Hillbilly Playboy, I will be playing at The Mix Friday, June 28th, 10 p.m. It's $5 cover. We got some great local bands, Guns N' Gacy, if I'm saying that right, and Solitaire Running Away, which is kind of a rock and roll, rockabilly, punkabilly thing. But yeah, and Guns N' Gacy are a great band. I totally recommend them. They've actually got a B3 player in the band, and their bass player is phenomenal. But yeah, come out 10 p.m. Friday, June 28th at The Mix. It's only $5.
Make sure you go check out the Hellbilly Playboy June 28th at The Mix. And always go check out his music and the music of the Hot Rod Hillbillies on the streaming platforms. Xavier, I want to thank you for being here on the Chuck Van Show.
Thank you, Chuck, for having me and being such a great supporter of the local San Antonio music scene.